How's it going, guys, and welcome to the channel. With the final shape a matter of days away and what is probably Bungie's biggest expansion in terms of making sure they nail it, you need to be ready for when it drops, and we're going to go over some things you might want to do to help your day one experience. But before we start, if you find yourself enjoying the video, tap that like button, and if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. So first on the list is going to be preloading. Now Bungie is bringing Destiny 2 offline on June the 3rd at 9 AM PT, with Destiny 2 being brought back online on June the 4th at 10 AM PT, so they can get prepped for the final shape release, which means you can no longer play the game until the release of the final shape. You can preload the game in that time frame no matter what platform you are on, and we do have the install sizes required for each platform as well. So for PlayStation 5 it's going to be 143 gig, PlayStation 4 is 110, Xbox One is 139, Xbox Series X or S is 165, with Steam being 155 gig, Epic Game Store being 144, and Microsoft Store being 156. I don't know who plays that on the Microsoft Store, but you know, they've got to include it, I suppose. But for Steam and PS4, we've got some figures on the right hand side. Now PlayStation 4 is 129 gig and Steam is basically 300 gig. Now for Steam and PS4, the right side figures include the current installed version of D2, and that will go down to the left side figure when the servers are back up. So you don't have that space on the right hand side available. Either make the space or you're just going to have to wait for the game to release and you won't be able to preload. But beyond that, everything else mentioned in this video will need to be done before the mentioned downtime that's coming on June the 3rd. Next up, we've got bounties. Now, bounties are working a little differently in the final shape, and that's because of the new system called Pathfinder, where bounties, patrols, and weekly vendor challenges are all rolled into one. But not all bounties are included in this. Bounties from Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit are being replaced by this system, but all others will still be the same. So if you want to hoard bounties for rep, then stack the ones from the planetary vendors, but remember, never go too crazy, guys, because if you have 63 out of 63 for bounties, you'll actually create a problem for yourself, because you need a few spaces for new quests when you jump into the final shape. The last thing you'll want is to wonder why you can't start the campaign, so leave a few spaces spare. As a rule of thumb, I just go up to 60 bounty slots because I just like to leave 3 spare for when I jump into the new campaign. But it's entirely up to you how you want to play this. This is just what I do. Next on the list, we've got exotic engrams. Now, starting in the final shape, Master Raoul will be the source for exotic armor. He's going to have a rank up system, so the more you decipher with him, the higher the reputation you will be. When you get to the rank of engram insiders, you can purchase any bit of exotic armor for your characters for 1 exotic engram and 1 exotic cipher. This is unlimited as well, which is why you should keep your exotic engrams and ciphers so you can start getting some updated exotic gear in the final shape. Leveling up your rep with Master Royal is as simple as cashing in prime engrams, exotic engrams, and tier 2 focusing engrams. So, save some engrams, guys, and get a head start in the new gear department. It's really worth it. I'm just hoarding some at the minute. Anything you get now, just save them. Don't collect any prime engrams or exotic engrams from him. Just leave them there, and then as soon as the final shape starts and you can get in, just start deciphering some with him and then get that rank up to get to the level of engram insider, and you can get some good exotic armor. Next up are legendary shards. Now in the final shape, legendary shards are being made redundant, which means they will have no use come June the 4th, so make sure you spend as much as you can before the servers go down. Some things to spend these on are raid banners from Hawthorne. You can never have enough of those. Enhancement cores, which are used to masterwork gear. 1 Ascendant alloy, which is also used for masterworking gear. Also, phantasmal fragments from the moon next to Eris. These can be traded in for glimmer at Master Royal, so it's worth stacking these as you'll go through a lot of glimmer in the first week or so of the final shape. You could also get over to Xur this weekend before he goes away on Monday morning and spend some of the legendary shards there if he's got some gear that tickles your fancy. But there isn't a lot to spend it on, but it's lost currency, so if you've got a load, you might as well just stack up on what you can at the minute, and then it'll just be disappearing on the 4th anyway. Moving on, we're going to be talking about moving your gear. So as with all of Destiny's expansions, the servers will be cooked, and after the downtime, the game's API is usually down, which means you can't swap gear between characters. So when deciding what character you'll jump in with, maybe think about using Dim or any other app to transfer over to your main, or the Vault, as we can now access that whilst in orbit, which is a great time saver. Plus, having space for all the new gear we will be getting is important. If the apps are down for a while, it's so annoying to go over to the tower to collect gear you want to use or infuse to get your power level up. It's frustrating not having your loadout set and ready to go, knowing that apps will be down. So definitely get your main character prepped and ready, especially if you're planning on running the legendary campaign, as you'll need all the firepower you can get in order to face the witness. And moving on to seasonal mods. Now, as this season is finishing, think about deleting all the old mods from your armour, as these will be useless and your builds will be redundant. I think in the Witch Queen and Lightfall there was actually a bug that messed up armour and artifice armour, so it's worth doing and doesn't hurt if you do it either way. With the new artifact mods and prismatic looking great, you'll definitely want to start build crafting, and there's a few ways you can do this. You can go into your character and delete them one by one, which will take more time, or you can come into dim and type armour in the search bar and click on the IS armour. Click on the three dots to the right hand side of this and press strip sockets. This will clear all mods from their sockets. This isn't a must do, but it's just something worth thinking about so you can be ready to go. It's something that I do anyway. I just like to have everything stripped and ready to go. But remember guys, this isn't me telling you must do this. This is just me putting out a little PSA saying maybe think about doing these things. And then moving on to the lovely topic of vault space. Now maybe you're a hoarder or you just like to keep duplicates of stuff, but keeping a clean vault is a good practice to have. With all the new weapons, perks and armour, now is a good time to look at clearing out your vault and creating lots of space for much needed upgrades that we will be getting in the final shape. Now, with Bungie unsunsetting everything, you don't need to delete everything, but the stuff you haven't used for a while, or the ships, ghosts and sparrows you've all got in there, delete them as they are stored in the collections tab anyway. So have a look through your vault and decide if you can really trim it down. I don't know if it's been confirmed if we're going to get more vault space in the future, but it's just worth keeping it tidy because you're probably going to be hoarding a lot more stuff come June the 4th. And then we've got ghost mods. So I say this every year because people forget, but when you finally fight through the clogged up servers and get in, open up your ghost and equip the XP mod, which will give you roughly 12% extra XP for everything you do in the game, from playing the campaign through to cashing in your bounties. It's definitely worth doing, especially if you want maximum gains to level up the battle pass or get them new juicy seasonal artifact mods, which look so good. Honestly, it's just a quick and easy way to give you a free XP boost, and in the grand scheme of things, 12% is actually quite a lot of XP if you think about how much you're going to be playing in the first couple of days. But ultimately, what I'm going to say is this is just me just giving out what I would do. You don't need to do it, you can play and start it off however you want. All I want from you guys is just to enjoy the final shape. This is the end of the Light and Darkness saga, and I'm hoping Bungie have really cooked up something special for us. But guys, that is the end of the video. If you've stayed till the end, thank you so much, and please consider tapping that like button. It helps the video and channel out massively. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button as well. But guys, the next time you'll see me is in the final shape. So as always, take care, and I'll see you on the next video.